Alessandra's bold marriage-for-face proposal intrigued Duke Edgar, who arranged a meeting. However, her father's restrictions posed an obstacle, which Edgar presented as a test of her determination. Desperate for freedom, Alessandra vowed to meet him. Their encounter was interrupted by Alessandra's jealous half-sister, Kate, who tried to belittle her. Edgar saw through Kate's facade and was further intrigued by Alessandra's hasty departure. Kate's subsequent attempt to seduce the Duke backfired spectacularly when he mentioned a better offer, leaving her seething with envy and plotting revenge. Who made this better offer that captivated the Duke? And what will Kate do when she learns who it is? "I was nearly caught," Alessandra murmured, leaning against a tree in the darkened grounds, now well out of sight of her sister and the Duke. "I should have known Kate would be looking for him," she thought to herself, shaking her head with disappointment. Her infatuation with the Duke is no secret. In fact, it's all she talks about. Alessandra could only hope Kate had not overheard their conversation. If she had, it was only a matter of time before all hell broke loose. She would inform their father, and the shackles keeping Alessandra trapped in this cruel prison would tighten even further. "Please, Lord, let that not be the case," she whispered, glancing back towards the house. "I hope His grace keeps our secrets between us." She had no way of knowing what the Duke and Kate were discussing now. Edgar could reveal everything at any moment. There would be no consequences for the Duke, and he owed Alessandra nothing. From what she had heard, thanks to Kate's loose tongue, he was not someone who made idle threats or acted foolishly. He wouldn't have invited her to his home unless he was serious. Alessandra stepped away from the tree and hurried towards the kitchen's back entrance, glancing over her shoulder to ensure she had not been followed. With a steadying breath, she pushed open the door. "Mario," Alessandra called, weaving her way through the frenzy. No one paid her any mind, too preoccupied with their work. She preferred it that way. "A touch bland, don't you think?" Mario, one of the 3 cooks, remarked when he spotted her. Then, turning to another cook, he instructed, "Cover for me. I won't be long." "Come with me," he said, taking her hand and leading her back outside. The Baron's wife had been inspecting the kitchens periodically, and the last thing he wanted was for Alessandra to be caught. "No one brought me my supper," she explained, knowing full well the risk of coming here. Mario shut the door behind them and released her hand. "I have spoken to him," Alessandra said in a hushed tone. Mario frowned, concerned. The Duke? About what? He had heard enough about Edgar Collins to know he was not a man to be trifled with. There are dark rumors about him, as there are about me in this mask. "Do you believe them?" she asked, already knowing his answer. Mario fell silent. He had heard the whispers, of course, but he had never believed she could cause a man's death merely by revealing her face. Of course not. "Then I shall grant the Duke the same fairness." "I cannot say what we discussed, but I am hoping for good news," she said, leaning against a crumbling stone wall and gazing towards the house. Mario studied her, lowering himself to sit beside her. "Well, I pray for your escape, miss. It is a cruel thing that you cannot go alone, but after the disappearance of those young women—" she murmured. "I hope the culprit is found and the girls are still alive." "Your father claims to know something about it," Mario shrugged. "I overheard him when I brought his tea. They have dismissed so many servants that I am now both cook and footman. I should be paid twice over." Alessandra watched as he kicked a loose stone across the yard. "When I leave, you should come with me. You have always been so kind." "That's very generous, miss, but I owe the Baron a debt. Another year of work, and I'll be free. Then I'll seek you out. You're the only Barrett worth knowing." He sighed. "I don't know what went wrong with the rest of them." "Nor do I," she replied wryly. "Mario, I need 2 favors. The coachman fears me, but you have his ear. Can you arrange for him to take me somewhere tomorrow, without my family knowing?" Mario was one of the few who did not shy away from her. He had never believed the nonsense about her being a ghost or under a curse. That is easily done. But this concerns the Duke, does it not? Be careful, Alessandra. Even if you ignore rumors, some warnings should not be dismissed. "I will heed your advice and remain cautious," she assured him, withdrawing a small knife from her pocket. "And I am not defenseless." Mario had stolen the knife for her some time ago, insisting she keep it. If he tries anything, bang! Mario gave her a flat look. "That is a knife, not a pistol, miss. What is your second favor?" "Mario," a voice bellowed from inside. "A bite to eat, if you please," she said sweetly. "Of course. "I best fetch it before they come after me," he muttered, rising to his feet, dusting off his trousers, and disappearing back inside. Alessandra waited, tapping her fingers in time with the faint strains of music drifting from the ballroom. It was a song her father adored, one he played at every gathering. Closing her eyes, she imagined twirling across the floor, exchanging pleasantries with her peers, and enjoying the feast laid out by the staff. If only she did not wear a mask. If only the rumors did not send people recoiling from her presence. She could live as a baron's daughter ought to, enjoying all the world had to offer. Will Alessandra get the freedom she deserves? Or will Kate ruin her plans? How will the Duke treat Alessandra?